Hello, my friends. My name is Adam, and I'm on a quest to be the most prolific reviewer of all time. And to do that, I review books and movies and whatever I want, basically, but mostly movies and television series. And like a lot of people, I was deeply saddened to hear of the loss of Catherine O'Hara recently. And Catherine O'Hara is one of those like interesting people because she wasn't a huge star, but she is so influential in the art of comedy on screen. Uh, Probably you've seen at least one of her performances at least 100 times because she was Kevin McAllister's mom. And I think that the more that I watched that, of course, many, many times. And when I watched it, even when I was young, the mom was like always quite familiar. And I was like, who is that? But then later I watched all of Schitt's Creek and I started to develop a much deeper appreciation for who she is as an actress because she can inhabit very different roles. Like, I think her name is Myra, the character in Schitt's Creek, and I forget what the name of the mom in Home Alone is, but they're completely different characters. And she's so good at inhabiting characters that have some kind of comedic edge to them. So I thought that I would watch, as many movies as I could with her lately just to get a feeling of her immense talent. And so I watched A Mighty Wind that I did a review for recently. And yesterday I watched Best in Show and For Your Consideration. So this review is going to be a review of Best of Show. So basically, Christopher Guest, and I think people probably don't know this. I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but Christopher Guest was responsible for creating a series of mockumentaries in the like early 2000s, late 90s. And this probably had a huge influence on sitcoms like The Office and Brooklyn Nine-Nine and a bunch of other things, Parks and Rec. Basically, Shear, I think his name is Mike Shear, who created the American version of The Office and Parks and Rec and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, so this mockumentary style had a huge impact on on uh, on the world of comedy. And how he would do it is he would just get these like really great comedic actors and have them improvise over a premise. And in this particular one, we are looking at the world of dog shows. And just to talk about the actors and the amount of talent that's in this movie, I'm going to read the cast, which is something I don't normally do. So you have Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, John Michael Higgins, Michael McKeenan, Michael Hitchcock, Parker Posey, Jennifer Coolidge, Jane Lynch, Christopher Guest, of course, Larry Miller, Linda Cash, Jim Pollock, Fred Willard, Ed Beakley Jr., Linda Boyd, and so on and so on and so on. And so the premise is you have people, following these characters as they are preparing for this very prestigious dog show. And interestingly enough, this movie actually led to these kind of dog shows being much more popular, and one started to be broadcast every year on Thanksgiving. And also, like, the movie is kind of taken away by dogs. I mean, that's kind of a thing, like, actors don't want to work with child actors or dogs. because they will really steal scenes that they're in. But the funny part is that all of these dogs actually were show dogs, right? And you can look on the Wikipedia. uh, so you have the terrier, who's a show dog, the well mariner, the shih tzu, the bloodhound, um, and the standard poodle. And yeah, they actually called the dogs by their real names, which is weird. So Take Me Dancing, Winky the Norwich trailer, Quiet Cheeks, Stand By Me, Hubert the Bloodhound, um, Miss Agnes, Tyrone, and Rhapsody in White. Oh, what a what a pretentious name for a poodle, but it makes a lot of sense. Rhapsody in White. Yeah. So to talk specifically, like all of those performances are really really great. But we are here for Catherine O'Hara, and Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy make a great comedic duo. And here they play this couple, and Eugene Levy is a guy who literally has two left feet, which is great. And he's forced to walk with the dog at the end of, the big performance at the end. And Catherine O'Hara plays a woman with, let's say, a very active past. And there's a great scene where they're being interviewed, because it's like one of these talking head sort of documentaries. So they're being interviewed, and Eugene's character says, "Oh yes, she was very popular with the boys. When we started dating, she had like about 10 boyfriends." And Catherine O'Hara's character says, "Hundreds, hundreds. I had hundreds," and she's not angry or anything. It's just like a matter of fact. So it's really really great that she can play like she can play somebody's mom, she can play like this sexually attractive and active woman, she can play every woman, like that song goes, "I'm every woman." Yeah, and I think like the other performances that I want to kind of highlight would be Jane Lynch, of course. She plays the trainer of Rhapsody in Blue. And so basically, Jennifer Coolidge is this woman who is married to this really rich guy. And so one of her kept woman hobbies is like dog shows. And so she doesn't actually train the dog. She hired somebody who is Jane Lynch's character to train the dog. And I think like this is one of Jane Lynch's kind of breakout roles. She doesn't So Jane Lynch kind of developed this specific comedic character, which is really really funny, on Glee. Like that's the epitome of what Jane Lynch's characters are like. And in later Christopher Guest movies like A Mighty Wind, you'll see that more and more. But this is more like where she's kind of figuring it out. And I think it's really good because there are comedic actors who can do a lot of different things, like Catherine O'Hara and even Eugene Levy. Like, it's really weird because you wouldn't think that he'd be such a versatile comedic actor, but he really is. He plays like really crazy characters, really straight characters. I mean, like a straight man characters. And then you have comedic actors who do one thing really, really well. And I think Jane Lynch is an example of that. Now, let's talk about the movie. How did I feel about the movie? I think that this is Christopher Guest's most famous film, apart from maybe Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap, and it's certainly very, very influential in terms of what it did for dog showing as a respectable sport. But I think I don't like it as much as some of his other things, because I think with A Mighty Wind, you can tell that like he knew something about folk music from the 60s, because the parodies are funny, right? And like in Best in Show, you literally have dog stuff. And I think if somebody had been a bit more knowledgeable about dog shows, he could have made it more funny, connected to the reality of dog shows. Um, but and yeah, so I just think that a Mighty Wind is more connected to reality, and I think I will give a review of Waiting for your consideration later. I think that that had much more developed characters. So I think that this is a series of funny sketches, which is very worth your while watching, but I wouldn't say that it rises to the heights of other Christopher Guest movies. But what do you think? If you like what I do, well, I mean, what do you think? If you disagree with me, put your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you like what I do, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of March. And if you're listening on Spotify, please give me a follow. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.